For today's recipe, you're going to need the following equipment. You will need 2 bowls, a big bowl and a small bowl. The big bowl is for to mix the scone in. The smaller bowl is just used to when you're cutting your scones. You'll need some cutters, so depending what size you'd like, or use a cup and use the back of a glass. You'll need a measuring jug, different measuring cups, measuring spoons, a chopping board, a knife to cut your butter, and you'll need a butter knife to mix your scone mix with. And this is the equipment you will need for today's prep. Hi Year 8, today you're going to do a batch of scones. So I've put on a recipe is the Buttermilk Scones recipe. Now obviously you can substitute that buttermilk for lemonade or just normal milk. And if you'd rather change this to a different type of scone recipe, you're more than welcome to. So I've doubled this recipe, so I've made enough for the whole family for afternoon tea. But normally you'd only use 1 3/4 cup of self-raising flour. In that flour, you're going to add your sugar, which is a tablespoon, but remember I've doubled it, so I'm putting in 2. Then you're going to throw in some cold butter that's already been diced up. So I've only diced it into little cubes. And you're going to pinch this together. So using your fingers, you are going to pinch this until it looks like and resembles breadcrumbs. So you just need to keep pinching it with your fingers until all that butter is softened through and mixed into all that flour. This will take you a few minutes. Try and keep it in your bowl. Now if you've got big chunks of butter like that still in it, keep mixing it together until you've pinched them all out. You can see I'm just mushing it in my hands until I don't have any big lumps of butter anymore. Alright, so go put your fingers through it, make sure there's no big lumps in there. Just quickly break those up. And then you're going to make a well and add the milk. So step 3, it says make a well in the center, add in your buttermilk. Now I've just used normal milk because I don't have any buttermilk today. And then using the flat part of your knife, you're going to bring it all together. Do this gently so don't make a big mess. once it's come together, you can use your hands to bring it to a big group. You're now going to put it onto your bench. Now, scone recipe isn't like a normal dough. Okay, so once you've got it all together, so just give it a little press together, make it about 3 to 5 centimeters high. You don't want to make them too small. Get a lined baking tray. Grab yourself a bowl with a bit of flour in it and a pastry cutter, whatever circle cutter you have. If you don't have a pastry cutter, you could use a cup or a glass or something like that just to get that circle. A small glass will work. So the flour stops it from sticking. So give it a little twist and there you go. You're going to repeat that until all this is gone. Each time, put it back into the flour, which helps with the sticking, or reduces the sticking, I should say. So when you get to this, you've got all this leftover bit. What you're going to do is bring it back together, give it a little mush. If you need a little bit of flour on your bench, add a bit. And then try and push it back down to a similar height as you had it. And then repeat. Remember, you can see just then I didn't work it too much. Just trying to bring it back together and not waste any of it. Again, together, and that might make one. Yeah. Now you can, on this recipe, you can put them right on each other, next to each other, so that when you cook it. They do go in the oven now for about 15 minutes. They're going to be golden. When they're done, you're going to pick one up and they should be golden on the bottom. So you're going to check that once they come out. So remember, in the oven at 200 degrees fan forced. And then let's see what they look like when they come out. Okay, while they're in the oven, you can clean up. This flour, obviously you don't want to throw back into your flour drum because it's already got other stuff mixed into it. You can keep it in a separate bag for another day or throw it away. And now you're going to clean. Remember, washing up with hot soapy water. All right, my scones have just come out of the oven. The tray's really hot, so be careful. To check that they're done, I want you to touch the side. So here where they touch, or you know, they're not getting as much free air around it. So the outsides here will be quite firm, but check that middle bit here. Check underneath is golden, and you've got a tap, and it kind of makes a hollow sound. Now you're going to let them cool. You can separate them a bit. If you're worried, put them back in, but make sure they're all cooked. And then you're going to go whip your cream. All right, year 8. So next thing you're gonna do is whip your cream. So you're gonna get yourself some electric beaters. You can use a handheld mixer or a stand one. Make sure you put these in till you hear the click and that they don't just fall out. Turn the power off before you plug it in, then turn the power on. Okay, I'm going to, up to you how much cream you use. I've just grabbed a 600 ml bottle and I'm only going to whip about half of it. What I'm going to add into this is a drop of vanilla essence, just to add a little bit of flavour. Oh, big drop. And I'm going to add a little bit of ice and sugar. And I'll just sweeten it all up. So when you put it in there, make sure you put it in before you turn it on. And then you're going to whip it until it's a firm, stiff peak. bowl. When you lift your beaters up and it has a peak like that, that is called a stiff peak, or so it's not moving on you. And then you are going to press the eject button on your beaters. Take your 2 beaters out, turn the power off. If you've got any cream on your electric mixer, please wipe it off. Then using your spatula, wipe off any excess cream on your beaters, or lick them if that's what you're going to do. Just remember, at school I wouldn't allow that because that's gross. At home it's totally fine. So your cream, nice and whipped. Now remember, don't whip it too much, you turn it into butter. So using a serrated edge knife, grab yourself 1 scone, cut it in half. Now I've let them cool, so it's easy to cut, and obviously so the cream doesn't melt. You can use whatever type of jam you've got lying around, a raspberry, strawberry, mixed berry, whatever jam you like. You're going to spread some jam over your scone, as little or as much as you like. Then you're going to add a dollop of cream. Then you can sprinkle with a bit of ice and sugar if you like. And there you go, guys. Your scones with jam and cream.